Far Cry 7 is finally coming, and Ubisoft is changing everything. No more recycled gameplay, no more predictable storyline. This time, things will be completely different. From a real-time countdown system to massive gameplay changes, let's break it all down. Stick around till the end because we've got some huge leaks about the possible setting, characters, and how this game might redefine the franchise forever. So these are Faxx bidders, and let's begin. Far Cry has always been about open world chaos, crazy villains, big explosions, and wildlife attacking you when you least expect it. But let's be honest here, the last few games were a bit too similar. Ubisoft knows this definitely, and with Far Cry 7 they're making some bold decisions. According to multiple leaks, the game will feature a non-linear storyline. So this means that your actions will leave real consequences, just like the RPG games that they have developed earlier, like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Valhalla, and many others. But this isn't the biggest thing yet. The game will feature a completely new and fresh mechanic, which is known as the real-time countdown mechanic. So according to this, you will have only 24 in-game hours to rescue your kidnapped family. Now you might be wondering how this thing will work, so let's get into detail. The game will give you a scenario where your family has been kidnapped by a dangerous cult called the Sons of Truth. Pretty similar to the Eden's Gate from Far Cry 5, which we will cover later in the video. And the moment the game starts, a 24-hour in-game timer begins ticking down. And according to leaks and rumors, that's about 15 to 20 real-world hours depending on how you play. So every decision that you make, every mission that you choose, will impact who survives and how the story unfolds. And unlike the previous titles where missions could be tackled at your own pace, this time you'll have to strategize. For example, do you want to go straight for the leader and risk missing out any key intel, or do you want to gather allies first, which will save you enough time? This system adds a whole new level of depth and urgency that we have never seen in a Far Cry game before. Now since we're into mechanics and gameplay, let's move on to some basic changes and huge improvements. The first thing that we will see a major overhaul in will be movement. Far Cry's movement system has always been a bit clunky, and you can definitely feel it while playing older games like Far Cry 3, 4, 5, New Dawn, and even Far Cry 6. But this time, they're adding a whole new side of things which will further improve it. This includes tactical sprinting, vaulting over obstacles, and a smoother climbing and a bit of parkour, which will be enough for immersion. Moving on, we have improved AI, another minor but very important addition. As compared to the previous Far Cry games, enemies will now adapt to your strategies. So if you rely too much on stealth, they will set up ambushes. And if you decide to go all out, as a result, they will reinforce the positions for better defense. Coming to the final change, which will probably change your entire experience for the game, which is no more outpost grind. Rumors suggest that Ubisoft is moving away from the traditional clear outpost formula, and are focusing more on random events and dynamic world building, meaning that you have to figure things on your own, just like in the Red Dead Redemption games. And if you're also thinking what I'm thinking, then yes. Finally, this means no more towers to unfog the map. Here comes the most exciting part, the setting and villain. Although nothing is 100% confirmed, but leaks suggest that the game might take place in a New England setting, which will feature diverse landscapes from cities to coastal regions and hilly terrains. And of course, we need to talk about the villain because let's be real, Far Cry villains make or break the game. Even in the past, Far Cry has given us some iconic villains like Voss, Pagan Min, and Joseph Seed. So who's the big bad in Far Cry 7? Right now, as far as we know, the main antagonist will be the leader of a cult known as the Sons of Truth. A violent cult which is obsessed with mind control and survival. And surprisingly enough, that cult's leader will be our main villain. But this doesn't mean that we will see a similar scenario like Joseph Seed. Instead, it'll be a completely new character who might be the most brutal villain that we have ever seen. Finally, let's talk about the last topic, release date, because this is where things get interesting. Originally, insiders suggested that Far Cry 7 was targeting a 2025 release date, which had fans hyped. But more recent reports from Ubisoft's internal team indicates that the game has been delayed to 2026 to make sure everything is polished and next-gen ready. But let's be honest here again. Ubisoft has a pretty bad habit of rushing their games when it comes to release dates, so would rather get a finished product rather than an unfinished, buggy mess, just like they did with Star Wars Outlaws and presumably they could have done with Assassin's Creed Shadows. So why not deliver something really amazing than another half-baked sequel? And this is much better than the previous release window that we got, which was 2027. So this means that indeed we're getting Far Cry 7 sooner than expected. So, based on the leaks and rumors that I shared with you, Far Cry 7 is shaping up to be the most ambitious game in the franchise yet. The real-time countdown mechanic, improved AI, and dynamic storytelling could breathe fresh life into the franchise like never before. But the question arises, will it actually deliver on these promises? I personally say this as a 50-50, but what do you think? Are you excited about this change, or do you miss the classic old Far Cry formula? Let's talk about this in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this video, then drop a like and smash the subscribe button because we've got more interesting videos planned for you. We'll see you again. Till then, take care and goodbye.